is red. Voodoo is blue. Sugar is sweet. Revenge is sweeter.
Foolish mortal, you have inadvertently tuned into the forbidden frequency. It's Zombie Astronaut's Frequency of Fear.
Oh, hi there, fellow astronauts. Welcome to the Frequency of Fear. I, the Zombie Astronaut, ran out to the local video rental store to pick up this spectacular movie rarity, The Cold Eyes of Spooky Ted. I've only heard about this flick, and after years and years of searching, I finally found it. This is gonna be great!
I love you, Marcia.
No, it's not rewound. I hate that.
I love you,
Let me just...
Marcia.
Hey, wait a second.
I love
This
you,
isn't the
Marcia.
Cold Eyes of Spooky Ted.
John.
Do you? Do you love me, Marcia?
You know I do, John.
Will you love me forever?
Oh, John, I'll love you forever in 3 days. No, 4. 4 days.
Even though I have this rare spleen-eating disease I contracted during my volunteer work in deepest Hulu-Bululu.
Don't, John.
But Marcia, I love you enough that I don't want you to wait for me to die to find love with another. I know how badly you want children and...
Hush, John. Hush.
But...
Hush.
But...
Hush. I'll find you a new spleen, John. And you'll put a bun in my oven yet.
But, Marcia, you know there's a spleen shortage, what with the war going on.
Hush.
But...
Hush.
Marcia, please stop. Marcia, you're scaring me. Are you having a stroke?
I'll find you a spleen, John. I'll find you a spleen with the help of your dog, Sparkles.
Oh, Sparkles, you've been such a good dog. You pulled me out of that well. You saved me from that bear.
Sparkles and I will find you a new spleen, John. And then you and I will frolic beneath the persimmon trees again.
Oh, the persimmons.
Oh, the persimmons.
Oh, the persimmons.
Oh, the persimmons.
Ew. This is offensive. What is this? Love Beneath the Persimmons? This is the wrong movie. Oh well. I guess I'll just have to go back to the video store.
Thanks, man. Come again. How can I help you, man?
Hi there, Bernie. I just came in to rent The Cold Eyes of Spooky Ted.
That's a great movie, man.
Yeah, well, it's not in the box. Something called, what is this? Love Beneath the Persimmons is in the box.
Great movie, man.
Seriously? Look, Bernie, I just want the right movie.
Hey, man. You don't look so good.
Yeah, I get that a lot. Look.
Hey, man. You're a dead man, man.
Yeah, Bernie, I'm a zombie. Being dead is really prerequisite number 1.
Oh, man. Oh, man, I get it, man. I get it. I gave you the wrong movie so you can come back from the dead to get your revenge. Oh, man, this is so bogus.
Bernie, I'm not...
I'm too young to die, man. I'm too young and too cool.
Bernie...
I have hopes and dreams, man.
Listen, Bernie...
I still haven't won a competitive eating trophy.
Fellow astronauts, this may take a while. Why don't you listen to this? In yet another odd twist of fate, this podcast deals with vengeance beyond the grave, even though that's not at all what's going on right here. Mr. Roberts has been writing a column for the Daily Express for over 40 years. But when the Daily Express gets a new boss, an ornery, no-nonsense, all-businessman named Mr. Briggs, he immediately starts making a few cuts. And apparently seniority won't sway him, because Mr. Roberts is the first man to go. And go he does. Right after getting fired, He goes right out a window. But that's not the end for Mr. Roberts. For when Mr. Briggs finds himself on a lonely, dark road, Mr. Roberts returns from the dead to exact his revenge. Listen now to Lights Out, the Scoop, also known as the Cemetery.
I've still never been a plus-size model, man.
Bernie, you weigh like 100 pounds.
Well, I was going to do that after my competitive eating career, man.
Ionized Yeast presents Lights Out. Everybody.
It is later than you think.
Lights Out brings you stories of the supernatural and the supernormal, dramatizing the fantasies and the mysteries of the unknown. We tell you this frankly, so if you wish to avoid the excitement and tension of these imaginative plays, we urge you, calmly but sincerely, to turn off your radio now.
My name, Arch Obler. Tonight, another exciting Lights Out story for all of you who like to thrill and chill to tales of the unusual.
Daily Express. City editor, 1 moment. Daily Express. Want ad department, 1 moment, please. There you are. Daily Express. Sport department. Whom do you wish to speak to? 1 moment, please. Daily Express. 1 moment, I'll connect you. Daily Express.
Good morning, Mr. Roberts.
Good morning, Jim.
Kind of late today, aren't you, Mr. Roberts?
First time in 40 years. Can't understand what happened to my alarm clock.
Well, maybe it wore out.
Worn out. Maybe that's right. Just worn out.
Now, hold up a minute, will you, Mr. Roberts? I want to talk to you.
I'm late, Carter. What can I...
It's about that money, Mr. Roberts. I was wondering if you'd wait to say...
Of course, my boy, of course. How is she?
Oh, doing fine. Mr. Roberts, I want you to know how much Jean and I appreciate what you...
All right. We're all human beings together, aren't we?
Some folks are.
I'm late. Got to hurry. See you later.
Thanks again, Mr. Roberts.
Sam Roberts.
Yes, Harry.
Have you heard the news?
No, was so late, didn't even look at
Late?
the paper.
Why, it's only 2 minutes after.
2 minutes after is 2 minutes late, Harry.
Sam Roberts, you're the... Oh, well. Listen, have you heard about Bridge? He's here. Bridge. Mr. Bridge, the new publisher.
Oh, him. Well, that's nice. He's taking things over.
Sam, you're not in the least bit interested in the fact that there's a new man on top, are you?
Well, I've been here so long, and many have come and gone.
But aren't you afraid of...
Well, finish it, Harry. Afraid of what?
Oh, forget it. That column of yours is all that matters, huh, Sam?
Well, I've been doing it quite a number of years. You know, just this morning, I was thinking how fortunate a man I am. For 40 years, things have happened. Wars, peace conferences, depressions, and prosperity. And in all that time,
Mr. Roberts.
Someone paging this, Sam.
Mr. Roberts, you wanted upstairs right away.
Upstairs, Jim? Me?
He said come up right away. New boss, Mr. Bridge.
Mr. Bridge?
Yeah, right away. He's the boss.
That's not so good, Sam.
What did you say?
Oh, nothing. Nothing at all. You'd better get up there.
Sure. Too bad I was late today. Maybe he's been waiting for me.
Take the side steps, Sam. Get up there faster.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks, Harry. Thanks.
Good luck, Sam.
Luck? Why should I need luck? Funny about that alarm clock.
Yes?
Oh, I've never seen... Oh, you're new here, aren't you, Miss?
I'm Miss Ronson, Mr. Bridges' new secretary. What is it, please?
I'm Sam Roberts. Column on the editorial page.
Oh, yes. Mr. Bridge was expecting you. If you'll wait a moment.
Yes.
Yes?
Mr. Roberts is here, Mr. Bridge.
All right, send him in a hurry.
Yes, sir. Very well. You can go in now.
Yes, so I heard.
All right, Roberts, come in.
Yes, sir.
Well, come in.
Yes, sir.
Sit there.
I'm pleased to meet you, Mr. Bridge.
Sit down.
Thank you. You know, Mr. Bridge, I think you're going to like publishing the Daily Express. What I mean to say is, on this paper you'll find a group of men who work together, who actually think of the newspaper as part of their lives, who actually...
Just a moment, Mr. Roberts. I'm a busy man.
I can understand that.
I didn't ask you up here to hear about the esprit de corps of this organization. It's been my personal experience that the average man does what he's paid for. No more, no less.
Oh, now don't say that, Mr. Bridge. Now you take Charlie down at number 1 Linotype. Why, there's a man
Mr. Roberts.
I'm sorry. I know you're busy, but I thought maybe you'd like to know something.
I've seen the balance sheet. I know all I want to know about this publication. The Daily Express earned 23% less in the 6 months of this fiscal year than it did in a similar period in any year in its history.
Well, I don't know much about that. But after all, things haven't been going too well any place. You can't blame the men.
The men of an organization make money. The men of an organization lose money. And I assure you, Mr. Roberts, that during the next 6 months, this newspaper will make money.
Well, that's fine. I'm sure for...
Will you keep quiet?
That's what you want.
Mr. Roberts, there comes a time in every man's life when he ceases to be an asset to the organization which hires him. Might as well be frank and tell you that time has come in your career.
What did you say, Mr. Bridge?
In plain English, what I said was that you're getting just a little too old for this organization.
Old?
In other words, I'm giving you 2 weeks' notice. Sorry, Mr. Roberts, but that's the way things are. Good day, sir.
You mean fired?
The cashier will have your check. Good day.
But my column...
I'm a busy man, Mr. Roberts.
But my column...
I'm replacing that tomorrow with a syndicated column. Big-name Broadway stuff. That's what the public wants.
Mr. Bridge, you don't understand. Thousands of people, they write me. For 40 years I've been...
If you've been doing it for 40 years, that's long enough. Good day, Mr. Roberts.
Mr. Bridge, listen, where should I go? Ever since I was 16, this is my work. I don't know...
Must I have you shown up, Mr. Roberts?
No, I don't want to anger you, but my column... 40 years, I tell
Will you?
It isn't the money. I'll work for nothing.
Yes,
I'll work for nothing.
Now, look here, Roberts. If you
Didn't you hear me, Mr. Bridge? For nothing. Just let me be here.
Get out of here.
No, listen to me. Just a minute more.
I have no time. Get out.
But my 40 years here, since I was a boy.
You've been paid for every day.
Then I don't want any more pay. Just let me stay. My work. A man can't live without his work.
Get out. Miss Ronson.
No. I'll go. I'll go. But before I go... Just another word.
Well,
who wants me to go? The managing editor or you?
Certainly it's my doing. It's my money invested in the paper. It's my right to choose my employees.
Let me stay.
Oh, what are you going to do? Start playing hearts and flowers?
Please.
Once and for all, get out of here. This is a business institution. You've been paid for services rendered. Now get out of here and stop acting like a fool.
All right, Mr. Bridge. All right.
Yes, Mr. Bridge?
Go ahead with the rest of them. Get them up here one at a time.
Yes, Mr. Bridge.
Every man in the organization over 50, understand?
Yes, Mr. Bridge. Do you want me to include...
What? Miss Ronson, what's the matter? Answer me. Crazy little fool screaming like that. Answer me. All right, I'll come out there and see what's the matter. Look here, Miss Ronson. Didn't you hear me? What was the idea of... Miss Ronson, what's the matter with you?
The window. Look.
Window? What about the window?
That old man, Mr. Roberts.
Well...
He just jumped out.
Ladies and gentlemen, a man is dead. And before this death leads to the other terrors that lie ahead in this strange story, suppose we pause for a moment, relax, and take time out for a deep breath in the midst of our lights-out story. Let's take time to eavesdrop on two young girls. One of them is very unhappy. Ooh, lights out. The publisher and his chauffeur are driving along a country road.
Jenkins?
Yes, sir.
Why are you taking this road?
Well, I don't quite know.
What do you mean you don't know? What are you talking about?
Well, I mean, it's a shortcut here.
Now, why didn't you say so in the first place?
Sorry, sir.
Jenkins.
Yes, sir.
How soon do you think we'll get to Hartville?
About midnight, sir.
Oh, that wife of mine, she thinks of the blamedest times that... Jenkins! Jenkins, what are we slowing up for?
I don't know, sir. The engine...
Well, of all the infernal times and places. Jenkins, what's the idea?
It ain't my idea stopping, sir. It's the engine.
This is no time for cleverness. You car like this stalling, I never heard of such a thing. Get it started quickly.
Yes, sir.
Well.
Something's wrong.
Now, that's brilliant. Get out, you fool, and fix it.
Okay.
What's that?
I said yes, sir.
Oh, no rattle brain. Well, what are you doing out there?
Trying to find the trouble.
Well, don't try, find it. Now, I better go out and see myself what... Well, have you located the trouble?
No, sir.
What do you mean, no, sir? Do you know your business or don't you?
Don't seem to be getting any spark. The distributors don't...
And why doesn't the engine go? What do I pay you for? To stand around lonely roads in the middle of the night holding guessing games?
Doing my best.
Don't you talk back to me. If this car started, you incompetent good for nothing, or you're fired. You understand me?
Yeah? Okay.
Jenkins, where are you going? Jenkins!
Said I was fired, did you?
Come back here at once.
Yeah, I'll come back long enough to tell you that if I could take about 20 years off you, I'll change your face plenty before walking out on you.
Well, how dare you?
You shove everybody else around. If you shove me around for the last time, I'm walking out on you, sourpuss. I'm walking out right now.
You can't leave me here in the middle of nowhere.
Can't I? Well, I'm doing it.
Now, Jenkins, you...
So long, dictator. Have a nice walk.
Jenkins, don't be a fool. Come back here. Jenkins, get this car started. Jenkins! Oh, all right. If you haven't heard the last of this, I'll fix you, you hoodlum. Leaving me like this, you'll regret it, Jenkins. Blasted dark. Thinks I'll walk my feet off, huh? Oh, no, I won't. Get in the car. Sit here until someone comes along. Infernal hoodlum.
I beg your pardon.
Huh?
But could I be of assistance?
For where? What?
I was walking along. I saw you were stalled here.
Oh, well, that's fine. Yes, you can help me. I'll pay you well, too.
Will you?
Certainly. You know about cars?
I will drive.
Well, that's fine, but you'll have to get it started first. Something about the ignition. I don't know much about machinery, do you?
If you will let me sit behind the steering wheel.
Certainly, but fix the engine first.
If you will let me sit behind the steering wheel.
But I tell you, the engine... Oh, all right. You'll see for yourself the starter doesn't do any good. But... Start.
Yes.
Infernal Jenkins, he stalled me here deliberately.
We will go.
He'll regret this night, believe you me. Nothing wrong with the car at all, was there?
It runs well.
Say, what's the idea of turning down this road? This isn't the way to...
It's a short way.
Huh?
A much shorter way.
You mean to Hartville?
I assure you, a much shorter way.
Oh, fine. Pretty clever fella. Say, how would you like working as my chauffeur? I pay well, treat my help well. But did you hear me? Said, how would you like the job working for me? I'll start you out at... So why do you keep your head turned? What? I turn the headlights off. Stop the car. The headlights are off. Stop the car. You can't drive in the dark.
I know the road well.
This is no dim-out area. Someone might run into us. Stop the car.
There is no time to wait.
Yes, I'll grant you I'm in a hurry, but if you think I'm going to jeopardize my life driving in the dark like this, you're crazy. Stop the car. Stop it. Well, it's more like it. No use jeopardizing my life. Well, come on, get out. You can fix the light.
Yes.
Everything happening at once. Blasted automobile. Well, why stand there? You going to fix the light?
There will be light enough soon.
Huh? What are you talking about?
The moon.
The moon?
In a moment. The moonlight.
Moonlight? Who cares about moonlight? Fix the lights and... What?
You see.
Cemetery. The cemetery.
We went where the road led.
What's the meaning of this?
Come.
Come where? What are you up to? Why did you bring me to this infernal graveyard?
Follow me.
Follow you? Where? Among the tombstones?
This way.
Are you crazy? Get me out of here quickly.
You will follow me.
What are you up to? Your face. I have seen you before. This blasted half-light. I do know you, don't I?
I ask you once more. Come with me.
No violence. My money, it's in my inside pocket. Let me go, but no violence.
With me.
No. Don't touch me. I can't stand pain. I'll go with you. I'll go.
This way.
If you think there's any profit in kidnapping me, let me tell you you're mistaken. Here, take my wallet and show me the way out of here, and we'll forget about the whole thing.
This way.
No. Don't make me walk too fast. I'm not used to walking. It isn't good for me to walk so fast. Now, listen, man, you've got to tell me. Where are you taking me? Where is there to go in the cemetery? I don't like it. I tell you, I don't. If this is your idea of a joke, I tell you, I don't like it. The tombstones shining so white, they're like hands stuck up out of the ground. No, I won't go any further. I don't care what you do. I won't go any... The moonlight's gone. Fellow, where are you? It's gotten so dark. Don't leave me here. Those infernal graves and tombstones. Answer me, where are you? All right. On my way up myself. So infernally dark, I can't see an inch in front of me. Doorknob. A door here. What? Yeah. But how? What? Steps going down. I wonder what... Door! Let me out. Let me out of here. Let me out. Let me out of here.
I'm here.
Huh? Where? Oh. I heard you. You down there?
I am here.
Tell me, is that the way out?
The way out.
Oh. Wait for me. Wait for me. So infernally dark. Just get me out of here. Get me back in my car. Any place but out of this infernal cemetery. I'll pay you well, anything you want. Oh. Here you are. What is this place? Where am I? Well, don't stand there in the shadows. Talk up. Where am I?
Look about you.
Infernal candlelight. What can I see? You said this was the way out. Well, lead the way.
Take up the candle.
All right.
Look at the wall alongside of you. Hold the candle high.
What is this place?
You see...
Coffins.
The mausoleum of the family of Bridge. Your family.
No.
Look closely. The brass plate on that one.
Jeremiah Bridge. Born 1802, died 1858. My grandfather.
You never were here before, were you?
Huh? Oh, no, of course not. I can't stand funerals and such things. Why am I here now?
They lived their years. The men of the family called Bridge. They lived their years like robber barons. And then they died, and here in darkness rot their bones.
What are you talking about? Who are you? Why did you bring me here?
I tried to rest, yet found no rest. As long as you were living.
Who are you?
As long as you were living.
Answer me, who are you? Take your arm away from your face and let me see... Roberts.
Yes. I tried to rest. But the thought of all the men, my friends, whose hearts you'd break as you broke mine, that thought kept tearing at the dead bones of me, until I thrust up out of the grave and came back for
Robert,
you.
Your face.
My coffin was a poor one. Worms and maggots worked quickly.
No.
The dead are dead, they told me.
Stay back.
The dead can't walk, they told me.
No closer.
The dead can't talk, they told me.
Stay back.
And yet I walk, I talk.
Back.
When you took away my work, you took away my life.
Back.
All the years I lived, I was what they call a good man. Asking so little. A place to sleep, my work to do.
No, stop. I can't bear to look at you.
When you took my work and with it my life, my goodness and kindness went too. In the grave, I learned the will to kill.
No, not me.
You hear me? Kill. And you, the one to be
killed. No, not me. You can't kill me.
Here in the place where all of your breed lie rotting, this is the place for you.
No, stay back. I can't go any further than the wall.
There's hate in me now. Hate that wants to tear the eyes that saw only profit from your head.
Oh, please, no, I beg of
Hate that wants to rip that fat hypocritical tongue from out your head.
Please, not me.
Hate that wants to rip the skin from off your flesh.
No, stop. Dead can't kill the living.
Hate can kill in life or death.
No, I'll get away from you. I will. Dark again. Roberts, where are you? I can't see. Then where? Gone. Hide. I'll hide till morning. What? Box. Coffin. Empty coffin on the floor. Yes, hide in it. Climb in. Put the lid down. Yes? Never get me in here. Ghosts can't move material things. Never get me. Wait until morning. Get away then. Never happened anyway. Hallucination. Man jumped out of the window. How could he live again? Air. I think air's getting bad. Open the lid and see if he's gone. Can't budge it. He's sitting on it. Roberts, he's holding it tight. Get off. Get off. The air, I'll suffocate. Get off. Robert, get off. Say, Miss Ransom.
Yes?
Where's Mr. Bridge? Something's come up about the Grosvenor contract. Said he'd have the paper signed.
Just a minute. Mr. Bridge hasn't come in yet this morning.
Morning? It's almost noon.
I know it is, but he isn't here. Had about a dozen appointments, but he just isn't here.
Perhaps he left it on his desk.
You'd better not disturb his papers.
Oh, I won't. Miss Ransom, come here, quick.
What is it? What's the matter?
Look. The proof sheet. What a nice paper. Where did it come from?
Why, I don't know. It wasn't there when I came in this morning.
Look at it. Look at it.
All
Look
right.
at his hands.
All right. Scoop. J. Rogers Bridge, publisher of the Daily Express, committed suicide last night in his family mausoleum in the Rosewood Cemetery. Oh, no.
And look at the signature. It's signed Roberts.
Roberts. Oh, but he's the old man who jumped out of the window.
Wait. Look. Message. Printed on... Oh, no.
Printed on what? Tell me.
On a piece of human skin.
Greetings, this is Taliesin TTLG invading the frequency of fear to talk vampires and vengeance. To be honest, a motive of revenge is such a common motif in vampire movies that it's rather difficult to produce a top 3. It was a particularly common motivation through the Hammer flicks, and so I want to look at a few movies that are, perhaps, a little more off the beaten track. In the 2008 Jeff Rector film, Revamped, the entire reason for main character Richard becoming a vampire is revenge. A businessman, he was reviewing his credit card bill when he discovered a charge to a hotel. On checking, it seemed that he had, unbeknown to himself, been regularly patronising the establishment for romantic escapades with his wife. Upset at being the cuckold in so obvious a manner, he tries unsuccessfully to kill himself, and then sees an infomercial for Kiss of Death Incorporated. He makes the decision to cut his wife from his will, become a vampire, and then get his revenge. An unfortunate cremation stops this, but, due to an accident a few years later, he is reformed from his own ashes. The film starts well as an offbeat comedy, but quickly fades as it tries to do too much. It falls in the just below average realm, but has plenty of cameos from many a cult favourite, including Flash Gordon himself, Sam Jones. A much better effort was 2007's Lucy Liu vehicle, Rise, Blood Hunter. though any listener who saw this on its limited cinema release would be forgiven for wondering if I'd gone mad. A film about reporter Sadie Blake, played by Lou, who, when an investigation takes her down a darker path, awakes from the dead in the morgue. Now one of the undead, she seeks revenge on those who turned her. However, on its cinema release, the producers decided to add Blood Hunter to the title and recut it to a 90-minute linear action flick. To be fair, I haven't seen that cut, but it did meet with scorn from almost every direction. When released on DVD, however, the stupid addition to the title might have remained, but the film is the director Sebastien Gutierrez's original vision, on the unrated and undead cut at least. Suddenly it was transformed into a 2-hour, non-linear film noir, and I thought it was one of the better efforts of recent years. Back to 1968 and the Japanese flick Kuroneko for our top film. This is an absolute vision of a motion picture, with an unusual vampiric element. Gintoki has gone to war, but whilst he is away, a group of samurai visit his mother, Yone, and his wife, Oshiga. They rape the women, murder them, and burn down their home. A black cat enters the charred ruins and feeds from the blood on the necks of the blackened corpses. Yone and Oshiga return as vengeful cat spirit with a vampiric thirst for blood, and, despite the unusual non-Western lore, this most definitely is a vampire movie. The plot thickens when Gintoki returns and vows to rid the region of its demons, not knowing that they are his wife and mother. Kuroneko comes highly recommended. To get more information on these and many more on vampire movies and books, visit Taliesin Meets the Vampires at taliesinTTLG.blogspot.com. Alternatively, find the link in the links of the Zombie Astronaut.
Bernie, I can't stress enough, I did not come back from the grave to seek revenge.
Oh, this is not cool, man.
Bernie, I haven't lived in a grave since college.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. Did you say you returned from the grave to seek revenge?
I didn't say that, he did.
Oh, it's true, man. He's come back from the grave to seek revenge.
On who?
Oh, definitely me, man. Who knows who else?
I'm not seeking...
Oh, my goodness. Are you seeking vengeance against me, too?
What? I'm not seeking vengeance against anybody.
I returned this movie 3 weeks late. Did you want to see this?
No,
Oh my, you wanted to see this, and I returned it late, and that's why you've returned from the grave to seek vengeance against me?
No!
Yeah, probably, man.
No! Look, lady, if that's got Tom Cruise in it, believe me, I have no interest in seeing it.
Hey, who's he come back to seek vengeance against?
Well, everybody, man.
No, I'm not.
But why?
I'm not.
Hey, is this about the time I stuck my head under the sneeze guard at the salad bar and sneezed because I'm allergic to croutons?
What?
Is this about the time I dressed in my mother's clothes and killed all those people?
Whoa. Look.
This is about the time that I killed my mother's clothes and dressed in all those people?
What? Everybody, please, listen. I did not return from the grave to seek vengeance against anybody. I just want Bernie here to give me the right movie.
All right, Zombie, this is Sergeant Staccato with the Glendale Police Department. Put down the vengeance and come out with your hands up.
Oh, this is just stupid. Fellow astronauts, while I try to straighten this out, you'd better listen to this. When Ronaldo the Great is convicted of murder, he has his assistant jot down the names of those responsible for convicting him on a notebook that he instructs him to place in his coffin, because Ronaldo promises to rise from the grave and seek vengeance on those who had him executed. But, fellow astronauts, how one returns from the grave to seek vengeance is all relative. Listen now to the strange Dr. Weird episode, Revenge from the Grave.
The strange Dr. Weird.
Good evening. Come in, won't you? Well, what's the matter? You seem nervous tonight. Perhaps the cemetery outside my house has upset you. But speaking of the cemetery, reminds me of a story I want to tell you. About a murderer who was dead and buried but who kept on killing people just the same. They call it revenge from the grave. My story, Revenge from the Grave, begins in the suburban section of a large city. It is just midnight, and a full moon casts dark shadows beneath the trees that line the street. John Rogers, a businessman on his way home, turns a corner, but stops abruptly as a man with a scarf about his face steps out of the shadow.
Just a moment, Rogers.
Who are you? What do you want?
I want to talk to you.
Get out of my way.
Not so fast.
A gun? What are you threatening me with a gun for? What have you got that scarf covering your face for?
Because my face? Well, my looks have changed in the months since I was executed and buried. But you recognize my voice, don't you, Rogers?
Yes. Ronaldo the Great. But you're dead. You died a month ago in the electric chair.
Exactly. You were foreman of the jury that found me guilty. Guilty of murder. So...
No!
John Rogers' strange death remained a complete mystery to the police for a month. And then, early one evening, a pale-faced young man called upon Henry Wilson, the district attorney who had successfully convicted Ronaldo the Great, to tell him a story that Wilson found quite impossible to believe.
Now, wait a minute. Let me get this straight. You say your name is Walter Jones and that you used to be assistant to Ronaldo the Great.
That's right, Mr. Wilson. I was his assistant for 3 years.
I see. And you're trying to tell me that last month Ronaldo climbed out of his grave and murdered John Rogers? Is that it?
Yes. You see, Mr. Wilson, the day of Ronaldo's execution, I visited him at the prison. He sent for me, you see, and I can still hear his voice as he greeted me.
Well, Walter, so you came.
Ronaldo, what can I do for you?
Tomorrow, after I'm gone, you must get the names and addresses of the judge, the prosecutor, and the 12 jurymen who sent me my death.
Names and addresses?
Yes. Write them down in my secret notebook and be sure to bury that notebook with me.
I don't understand.
Each month, on the night of the full moon, I shall return from my grave to execute one of the 14. I shall not sleep in peace until they are all dealt with.
And did you put the names and addresses in his coffin when he was buried?
Yes, and now I'm positive that Ronaldo is using them to get in touch with the 14 men he swore to kill. Please, Mr. Wilson. Tonight the moon is full. Unless you do something, Ronaldo will kill someone else. Perhaps even you.
Oh, my boy. Go home and get some sleep and forget all this. Nobody's going to be murdered tonight by Ronaldo's spook. I personally guarantee it.
Only partly reassured, young Walter Jones left. District Attorney Henry Wilson went on with his interrupted reading until he heard the clock strike midnight. Suddenly a loud knocking at his door startled him.
All right, just a moment. Who are you?
You don't recognize me, Wilson.
Not with that scarf wrapped around your face, no.
The scarf is to keep from innocent passers-by a sight that should remain forever hidden within the darkness of a moldering coffin. But my voice, surely you recognize that.
Your voice? Ronaldo the Great. Oh, no, that's impossible.
Yes, Ronaldo, come to call on you tonight, the night of the full moon, to kill you.
Like this? So, you refuse to believe in the powers of the great Ronaldo, did you? Just as the others on my list still do. But they shall learn that not even the grave can stand between them and the fate that it bears.
Say, Dr. Weird, what kind of a doctor are you?
Well, I'm an MD of a different kind. Doctor of Madness.
And I am a DH, Doctor of Hats. My counsel to all men is this. If your hats never seem to fit properly,
If you're always tugging at the brim and fussing with the crown, remember that trying to doctor up a sick-looking hat isn't going to remedy the case. The best prescription is to get a hat that's designed from the start to keep in good shape and fit neatly. An Adam hat. Made of finest quality material, Adam hats have the stamina to wear well and are styled to the best taste. Color shades are distinctive and appropriate. For hats that reflect perfect craftsmanship, see the latest line of smartly fashioned Adam hats. Prices only $3.45 to $10 at all of the thousands of Adam hat stores and authorized dealers from coast to coast. Now, a good Dr. Weird.
And now I'll continue my story, Revenge from the Grave. After the mysterious murder of District Attorney Wilson, young Walter Jones went to Judge Dexter, who had sentenced Ronaldo the Great to death. He told Judge Dexter the whole story of Ronaldo's vow of vengeance and was greeted, as he feared, with skepticism.
Now, Jones, you want me to believe that Ronaldo the Great, dead and buried for 2 months, emerged from his coffin that night to strangle Wilson?
It's true. I know it's true.
If you really believe that, why didn't you go to the police immediately?
They just have laughed at me. Besides, I didn't want to believe it was true. But tonight the moon is full again.
Huh?
And tonight he'll kill someone else unless we stop him. I know he will.
Just what do you propose we do?
We must go to the cemetery tonight. Just the two of us. And open Ronaldo's coffin. Take away that list of names and addresses that I buried with him. Then he'll be helpless.
I see you believe all this, Jones. Well, just to set your mind at rest, I'll go to the cemetery with you and prove to you once and for all that Ronaldo the Great is dead and quite incapable of coming back to harm anyone.
An hour later, the two men stood outside the small marble mausoleum where the body of Ronaldo the Great lay in its coffin. Walter Jones opened the door with a key, and they stepped inside. He shut it again and turned on the flashlight he had brought.
Look, Judge. That's Ronaldo's coffin. Look at it, Judge. It's solid bronze, and it can be opened from the inside as well as from the outside.
From the inside?
Yes. That was Ronaldo's last instruction. The lid is fastened with a catch that can be worked from the inside.
I see. Well, we're going to open it now. And I'll prove to you that in spite of everything, what you believe is impossible. There. Now shine the flashlight inside. You see?
Ronaldo.
There's Ronaldo the Great. Dead if I ever saw a dead man. Now, are you convinced?
Look. There's the notebook with the names and addresses of the men he swore vengeance on. And in his hand, look, Judge.
Merciful heavens, a revolver.
The gun he shot John Rogers with. It must be.
Oh, no, it's impossible. Oh, the flashlight. What's happened to it?
Something knocked it out of my hand.
You fool, you dropped it. Pick it up and turn it on again. It's black as pitch in here.
No, Ronaldo. No.
Jones, what is it? Where are you? Jones, answer me.
He cannot answer you, Judge Dexter. I have silenced him for the time being.
Ronaldo.
At your service, my dear Judge.
No, I don't believe it. It's not possible. You're dead. I saw your body there in the coffin.
Quite true. I'm dead and I'm also alive. An interesting paradox, isn't it? Time now for you to suffer the fate to which you sentenced me.
Let me go. Let me go. You must die if I call the race. You're sworn that you shall die, and you shall. If you won't let me go, I'll have to shoot.
Now, where are my matches? Yes. There, now I can see. Jones! Speak to me.
What happened? I feel so funny. So weak. My chest hurt.
Jones, I shot you with the gun we found hidden in Ronaldo's coffin. I had to. You would have killed me if I hadn't.
I killed you?
Yes.
I don't understand.
But I do now. Listen, my boy. That last interview you had with Ronaldo in his cell, he hypnotized you before you left him. He ordered you to carry out his mad scheme of vengeance for him.
I don't understand.
He hypnotized you and told you that each night of the full moon you would believe you were he, Ronaldo, that you'd talk like him and act like him. It was you who killed John Rogers and the district attorney, just as you tried to kill me a moment ago. You couldn't help it, my boy. You were just carrying out a condemned man's diabolical scheme. Jones! No use. He's gone. And Ronaldo the Great is really dead at last.
So that's the secret of how a dead man could continue to kill after his death. By hypnotizing his assistant into acting for him. Clever, wasn't it? Lucky Judge Dexter found that gun where poor Walter Jones had unknowingly hidden it in Ronaldo's coffin. Or Ronaldo might still be coming to life on nights of the full moon to continue his diabolical plan of revenge. Hey, you weren't on that jury that convicted Ronaldo, were you? If you were, I'd certainly... Oh, you have to go now. But perhaps you'll visit me again soon. Just look for the house on the other side of the cemetery, the house of Dr. Weir.
Vengeful corpse, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
What?
I said I can hear you!
Come out of the video store without seeking vengeance on anybody and you won't get hurt.
I'm already out of the video store. Whoa!
Sorry.
Would somebody listen to me?
If you'd like to give us your demands, we're here to listen.
I don't have any demands!
That's right, give us your demands.
What?
What?
Look, you guys,
We're ready to listen to you.
I don't want to seek vengeance again.
Whenever you're ready, we want to hear you out.
I don't want to...
Look, those people you want to seek vengeance against don't have all day. Say something, man.
Look, I don't want...
I'm sorry, what?
I don't...
What? This isn't getting us anywhere. All right, men. Fire at will. No, you idiots. That store there. No. The one with the big picture of the videotape on it. Jeez, you guys blind. That one. Next to the station wagon. No, not the station wagon. The store behind the station. Forget it. Take 5, everybody. Take 5.
Jeez, I'm Pete. Before somebody gets a lucky headshot in, I'd better get on with our third offering of Vengeance Beyond the Grave. Catherine buys a Chinese tile from a strange little woman, probably at Big Lots or something, and if you stare at the tile for long enough, you can summon the dead. Catherine wants to summon her father so he may tell her who killed him. But you know how everyone's outsourcing these days, and Dad said someone named Dennis in his place to seek justice. Granted, Dennis was punished for the murder of her father. So really, he's seeking justice for the both of them. I'll just let you listen to the rest. Listen now to Inner Sanctum, the Magic Tile.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum. This is your host to welcome you through the portals of the squeaking door for another delightfully horrible half hour with a delicious assortment of obnoxious people. Friends, I've just come from a formal dinner that was given by the Society for the Prevention of People to raise money to buy a blood bank for toothless vampires. All the gay ghouls in town were there. As for the first course, they served an ectoplasm salad with astral dressing. But the best part of the evening was the entertainment. They had a ballet of dancing skeletons doing a rumba to the beat of their own bones. It made everybody grin from ear to ear. Wouldn't you have liked to have been there?
Tonight's Inner Sanctum Mystery, The Magic Tile, was written by Milton Lewis and stars Mercedes McCambridge in the role of Catherine, with Everett Sloan as Mark.
All right, friend. Let's get dreadful. Now remember, don't scream back at the radio. It won't do you any good. All set. Then listen as we hear Catherine Brine tell us this story in her own words.
A flash of lightning, like a giant white electric light, lit up the sky that night as I went up the walk. And Brine Mansion looked like a huge gabled tomb standing there on the hill. Its towers, two huge skeleton arms, stretching up into the black, sullen sky. For a moment I wanted to run as far and as fast as I could from this house where I was born. And I wish now that I had. But much as I hated it, I had come back. Not because I lived there, not because I wanted to be there, but because in this house I should find out if I was going to live or if I was going to die. I let myself in quietly and made my way to the living room. Then there was a rustling of skirts, and my mother suddenly appeared in the dim, shadowy light.
Cassie, dear.
Hello, Mother.
You're so late, I was becoming worried.
Oh? Was my stepfather worried, too?
Why, yes, dear. Mark is still up. Here, you've got to take your coat off. It's so true.
No, don't you touch me.
Cassie, darling.
And don't start sniveling over me again, Mother. I can't stand it.
I was just trying to help you.
Yes, you're always trying to help me, aren't you? Why didn't you think of helping me before you married that man upstairs? No. You're such a pretty woman, Mother. You couldn't possibly be without a husband. What would people say?
Catherine, please, you can't go on like this.
No, I can't. I can't go on very much longer without destroying myself.
You mustn't say such things.
And why not? It would make you and Mark very happy if I should die, wouldn't it, Catherine? Nobody in this house wants me to go on living.
Good evening, Catherine.
Mark, I didn't know you were here.
I'm aware of that. I heard you.
Mark, she didn't mean it. She didn't mean a word of it.
Oh, but I did. And now that you're both here, there's something that I've got to find out. Tonight. It's very important.
What is it?
10 years ago, my father died.
Catherine, we can't discuss that now.
We've got to. I've got to know certain things.
Why?
Because if I don't, something dreadful might happen to me.
Now, Catherine, you're exaggerating.
Dr. Wells doesn't think so. I've been going to him for months now. And he knows that there's grave danger that I'll go completely out of my mind if I don't find out about this.
My poor
No,
darling.
don't pity me, Mother. Help me. Tell me how my father died. You know. You were there.
Catherine.
Don't try to put me off. You've lied to me about my father's death ever since I was a child.
Catherine, there's nothing to tell. Your father was killed in an accident. He was a doctor.
That will be enough, Lola.
But, Mark.
We'll call Dr. Wells the first thing in the morning and discuss this matter with him.
Why don't you let her tell me? What have you got to hide?
We're not going to discuss this until I speak to Dr. Wells. Lola, I suggest you come upstairs as soon as possible. Good night, Captain.
Mother? He's gone. You were going to tell me. Where was this accident, Mother? How did it happen? Who was involved?
Cassie, you're in no state to hear anything right now. Mark was right. We should speak to Dr. Wells about it first.
Yes, speak to him. So that you can both make up an appropriate lie to tell me. Well, I don't want any lies. I want the truth about it, Mother. And I'm prepared to go to any length to get it. Look at this, Mother.
No, Catherine.
Look at it, I tell you. Look at it.
What is it?
A woman sold this to me today. A strange little woman.
It's a sort of tiny painted tile.
Not just an ordinary tile, Mother. Comes from the Orient, the woman said. And you see this odd design? Well, if you look at it long enough, a strange thing will happen. You'll find yourself able
to talk to the dead, to see them wherever they are, and to touch them. Carefully. And I'm going to talk to my father.
You can't be serious.
If you won't tell me what I want to know, then the dead will. My mother left the room, and I sat down in front of the fireplace as I used to when I was a child. I looked at the tile, at the design, and parallel lines and dots seemed to dance before my eyes. I stared at it. It seemed to hold me, to control my gaze. And then almost at once I felt an icy chill in the air, and the design vanished. In its place there was black, infinite space filled with shadows, and still shadows beyond shadows. And then I noticed a speck of gray come out of the blackness. A strange, sulphurous odor, and it came toward me. At first very slowly, and gradually faster and faster, as though it were coming to me through endless years of space. Suddenly there was an ear-shattering thunderclap. A streak of lightning zigzagged through the room in an insane dance. And then I heard the front door close. I heard footsteps approaching. I turned around, faced the doorway, and then I saw him.
Don't scream.
Who are you?
You're Cassie Brine.
You know me?
I did, 10 years ago. How strange this house has become. As though deep in the heart of it, something started to rot and decay. It was not like this when I saw it last.
Where did you come from?
Tell me, how do I appear to you?
How you appear?
Yes, please.
You have white hair, a white beard, but your eyes. No, it can't be.
What can't be? That my eyes are the eyes of a corpse? That I look more like a dead man than a living one?
Yes.
That should not be so strange.
Oh. Who are you? Where did you come from?
Where is your mother?
Upstairs. In her room.
And her husband, I heard she's remarried.
He's upstairs, too. Did you know my father?
Dr. Brine? Very well indeed.
How did he die? I want to know that.
He was murdered.
Murdered?
Yes, murdered.
How do you know?
I saw it all.
You saw?
I was punished for it.
You murdered him?
No. I did not kill him. He was the only friend I had in the world. That's why I came back here tonight, you see. Didn't you ever know how your father died?
No.
Would you like to know?
Yes, more than anything in the world.
He was the kindest of men. And that's what led to his destruction. He took a man under his care, a man who'd been given up as a raving maniac. And rather than see this man placed in an institution, he kept him in the guest cottage of his house.
Wait. I remember now. That man was a poet.
Yes. His name was Dennis D'Amour. Your father believed this man was a great poet and struggled to save him.
Did this man murder my father?
No. One evening when your father came in to treat D'Amour, there was a third man in the darkened cottage. This man leaped at your father and drove a knife into his back. The poor madman, frightened, ran over the countryside until he was caught by the police. And he was charged with the murder of your father.
You said that you saw all of this.
I did.
Then you're the
madman. Dennis D'Amour.
You're dead?
Perhaps I am.
Oh. And the murderer. Who was the person who murdered my father?
You know him quite well. He's the man who's now Married to your mother, Mark Weldon.
Can you prove this?
Your father is the only one who can prove it.
My father? Can you bring my father back here?
Bring him back?
You came back. If you could only bring him and prove this.
Prove it? Perhaps I can. Perhaps I will bring him back. Tonight.
Just then there was a tremendous thunderclap, and the electric light failed. I tried to see him by the firelight, but he wasn't in the room. I ran to the door, stumbling over furniture in the darkness and screaming for him to wait. I opened the front door, but he wasn't there. And when I came back into the living room, my mother was there, and with her was Mark Weldon. Cassie, we heard you screaming. Did you, Mother?
What happened?
I found out how my father died.
Really? How?
He was murdered.
Did you tell her anything?
No, not a word, Mark, I swear. Cassie, how did you find out? I told you how I'd find out. That tile?
Yes, that tile, Mother. It worked.
That's impossible.
Of course you'd say that. But I discovered tonight that you, Mark, you murdered my father. You cleverly arranged that a poor patient of his named Dennis Damore would be arrested for the crime that you committed.
Who told you this?
Dennis Damore.
Damore? Was he here?
Yes. And he told me everything.
And you believed him?
Why shouldn't I?
Why, the man's a maniac. I don't know how he ever got here. He should be at the State Institution for the Criminally Insane.
Number 3.
Hello, operator. Will you put through a call to the State Institution for the Criminally Insane at Blyton? I wish to speak to whomever is in charge. And call me back as soon as you get them. It's urgent.
Yes, sir, I understand.
Thank you. Catherine, you actually claim you spoke to this man?
Yes, Mark. And he told me that he saw you murder my father.
You're lucky you escaped with your life. The man's a homicidal maniac. I find it shocking that you should even begin to believe this fantastic story.
But it seems to be true, Mark, doesn't it? My father was murdered, and Dennis Damore was sent away for the crime.
Yes, that part of it is true, but to accuse me...
He not only accuses you, Mark, but he's going to prove it.
How?
By bringing my father back here.
Laura, we've tolerated her in this house for... Hello.
Hello, this is Dr. King, night supervisor of State Institution.
Oh, hello, this is Mark Weldon speaking. Has one of your patients, Dennis Damore, escaped?
Dennis Damore, the poet?
That's right, a homicidal maniac.
Well, he hasn't escaped, Mr. Weldon. He was one of the patients who was killed in a fire that broke out in this place 2 years ago.
What's that?
Didn't you hear me?
Yes. Yes, I heard you. Thank you. Goodbye.
Mark, what is it?
Dennis Damore. He's dead. He was killed 2 years ago.
Well, friends, how'd you like to have a little Chinese tile that can produce dead men for you? Or don't you think that Dennis Damore is a ghost? Maybe you think he's just an old pop-eyed poltergeist. Well, we'll know in a moment, as we hear Catherine Bryan tell us the second half of her weird story.
My stepfather's hand trembled as he hung up the phone. Even in the red glow of the firelight, I could see that his face had suddenly turned snow white. My mother said nothing, but she stared at him as he went to the desk and lit one of the kerosene lamps which we use when the electricity fails at Bryan Mansion.
It's impossible. The dead can't come back. Unless you're making up this whole thing, Kathy.
Why should I invent a story like this?
Because you've always been insanely jealous. You've always hated your mother for marrying me. Isn't that true, Laura? Isn't it?
Yes, it's true.
There. You see, Catherine? Your mother loves you. She wouldn't lie. Now, tell us the truth. You made up this whole wild tale about Dennis Damore, didn't you?
No, Mark, I didn't invent it. Dennis Damore was here.
He couldn't have been. He's been dead for 2 years.
Then how would I know the things I told you?
I don't know. That's what you've got to explain.
Mark.
Why does this upset you so? If you didn't murder my father, what difference does it make about Moore? Why are you so frightened?
I'm not frightened. I'm just determined to get to the bottom of this thing. What was that?
Just the thunder, Mark.
Laura, why are you looking at me like that?
Like what?
Staring at me. As though you've just seen me for the first time. Do you believe this mad story Catherine's told us? Do you think I murdered her father?
I just remembered certain things, Mark. I can't help it if I think of them now.
What things? Tell me, what things?
2 days before the murder, you told me you were in love with me. I sent you away. I told you never to come to this house again.
Yes, go on.
On the night of the murder, I saw you standing in the moonlight near the guest cottage.
You did?
I thought I was mistaken, especially since you claimed you were at home that night. Mark, now don't be angry with me. I can't help thinking of these things now. It's only natural.
Natural? Is it natural for a man's wife to accuse him of a crime like murder? And on the basis of what? The word of a psychopathic girl who should have been confined long ago. She talked to a man who's been dead for 2 years. I suppose you believe that, too. And who is this man, even assuming that he is alive? A madman, a homicidal maniac who took your first husband's life when your husband tried to kill him. Well, I've had enough of this.
Mark, what are you taking out of that drawer?
Kathy, come here.
Why, Mark, put that gun away.
Shut up, Laura. Kathy, I won't hurt you unless you try something dangerous. I'm holding this gun because I believe your mother and I are no longer safe in the same room with you. Now, I want the truth. You were lying to us before, weren't you?
No.
Very well, then. Who is this man you saw? I'd like to see him, too.
I don't know.
Of course you don't, because he doesn't exist.
He does. He appeared when I looked at the Chinese style.
The Chinese style? Good, good. Look at your Chinese style now. Make him appear.
No, you're trying to make a fool of me, a liar.
You do as I tell you. Look at that tile. Go on.
All right. I will.
Now, what do you see?
Nothing. But the design.
Yes, and that's all you're going to see.
No. The design is fading. It's getting dark. Dark. Nothing but blackness. Mark, I heard the front door. Someone just came in.
Yes.
Those footsteps. That's just how he came in the last time.
Perhaps, but I doubt it.
No! It is them all.
Do you remember me, Laura?
Yes. You've changed a great deal, but it is you.
Mr. Weldon, it's been 10 years since I've seen you.
More. Then you're not dead. There must have been some mistake when I identified you.
Not dead.
You escaped. Someone must have been identified instead of you. That's the only explanation.
It depends on what you choose to believe, Mr. Weldon. I brought a guest with me.
My father.
Brian. I'm sure you know these people quite well. Of course you do.
What's he saying? He's talking to my father.
That's right, Kathy. Unfortunately, you cannot see him. But he is here. Aren't you, Doctor?
Demore, what are you up to?
What do you think?
If you come back here to make trouble...
Trouble? No. I've come back because someone wanted to know the truth. And I brought the doctor back for the same reason. Doctor, before these others, I want you to tell us who murdered you. Who murdered you?
Look! You shot him!
Yes.
Why? Why?
Dangerous. Maniac.
That's not the reason. It's because you murdered my father and you didn't want us to know.
All right, Kathy. I did kill him.
Mark!
It doesn't make any difference now. This maniac has planted the suspicion in your minds. You would have found out sooner or later.
Mark!
Yes, I killed him. For you, Laura. I love you. That's over now. It's been over for a long time.
I know what to do now, and it's going to be very simple, thanks to our friend lying there.
What are you going to do?
Don't you know, Laura? It's so simple. Your bodies must be found in such a condition that they will be certain Demore killed you. Then I'll tell them how I shot the homicidal maniac to protect myself.
The same way he killed my father?
Yes, Kathy.
You won't die,
Hey, Demore!
Did you think you could kill me, Weldon?
Demore!
Do you think those shots will stop me?
No, don't you come near me. Stand back.
Nothing will stop me, Weldon.
The gun. It's empty. No, talk. Let go.
I saw the bullet strike Demore. They hit him, but they didn't stop him from lurching toward Mark and seizing him by the throat. As they fell to the floor, the kerosene lamp fell off the table. It might have been the wind, but I believe otherwise. I'm almost certain it was my father. And then in a moment, the drapes were on fire and the whole place was blazing. I screamed to my mother to leave, and she ran with me out of the blazing building, out into the storm that raged outside. 2 weeks later, my mother came into the hotel room where we were staying.
I've just come from the police, Kathy.
Well, Mother?
Only one body is positively identified.
Whose?
Mark.
The other body?
They haven't been able to find it amongst the rubble.
I don't believe they ever will.
But, Kathy, the police checked with the authorities at the state institution. It seems that some of the patients did escape at the time they had the fire there 2 years ago. It's possible that Demore was among them.
It's possible, but I doubt it.
You think Demore died 2 years ago?
Yes, Mother. Don't you? A short time later, the police found something in the ruins of the building that had once been a human being. They assumed it was the remains of Dennis Damour. Identification was impossible. However, these remains freed us of all suspicion. And now we are living in the city, a long way from Bryan Mansion, where I know that the dead come back to settle their debt with the murderer.
Well, friend, I guess you've met ghosts before, but I'm sure this is the first time you've ever met a crazy spook. Or don't you think Dennis Damour was a ghost? Well, you know, there's only one way to find out if ghosts really exist. Just ask one to haunt you sometime. And that, of course, brings us to the moral of this story, which is taken from the gibberings of graveyards. The wise old lunatic who said, if you wake up screaming in the middle of the night, close the window, don't bother the neighbors.
This is Channel 13's Action News Extreme with Bob Wolfenbridgen.
Good morning, afternoon, or evening. This is Bob Wolfenbridgen. The police standoff with the vengeful corpse outside Bernie's videotape rental continues in what officials are now referring to as Vengeance Gate. We now go to reporter Steve Martin with details. Steve?
Thank you, Bob. Vengeance beyond the grave. Why is it happening here to these people in this video rental store? Why are they still renting videos? Why are they renting them on VHS when a superior technology exists? What do the experts mean when they say the perpetrator of all this vengeance may be a giant Japanese lizard?
We didn't say that.
We now have an exclusive interview with the seeker of vengeance, Mr. Zombie Astronaut.
Zombie Astronaut?
No, sir, I'm a living reporter.
What?
For the record, why do you want to seek vengeance against these people?
I don't. I just wanted Bernie to give me the movie I wanted to rent.
Really, man? So you don't want to punish these people for crimes they might have committed against you?
No!
Why didn't you just say that, man?
I'm free! I'm free!
Thank goodness that's over. I have to empty my colostomy bag.
Do you hear that, Mother? I'm free! Free to kill again!
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, from tragedy to complete misunderstanding. And the people of Tokyo may once more sleep safely in their beds. But for how long? Oh, hey, man, I found your movie, man.
Give me that!
Hey, man, you didn't rewind this other movie. Ow, man! Back to you, Bob.
Well, that sucked.
This has been the Zombie Astronaut's Frequency of Fear. For more horror, sci-fi, and suspense audio, see the website at www.zombieastronaut.net. Right now!
Therese Chavas was Marcia. Casey Locke was Bernie and Steve Martin. Gwendolyn Jensen Woodard was customer number 1. Brent Hinks was customer number 3. Ellie Hirschman was Sergeant Staccato. And Bill Holweg was Bob Wolfenbridgen. Everything else was by W. Ralph Walters. The theme song was written by Norm Bourgeois and performed by Papa Suede. All other music by Papa Suede or from the Kodak Super 8 soundtrack. For more Frequency of Fear, go to frequencyoffear.com.
Oh, Spooky Ted! Don't look at me with your cold, cold eyes! No, not with your cold, cold eyes! No, Spooky Ted! Please, don't look at me with those cold, cold eyes! Oh, Spooky Ted, your eyes are so cold! Oh,
this movie sucks!